What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another SLA video. All right, folks, we are going to be doing some testing on the brand new blessing stones. That's right. There was quite a few that came out, and I want to go over these with you guys. We're going to test together, do a little bit of a run through and see which ones are worth having and which ones are not. Now, I want to say a big shout out to Cap, of course. He actually went in here and got a couple ones that I need. We got SANDBAG here, which is harsh of today. This might be actually one of the best ones. So Jinnu's attack will decrease by 10% for 130 seconds. Then his attack increases by 40% for 120 seconds. This, of course, is going to be very, very useful in long battles, specifically guild boss, and then, of course, POD, right? So this is where this is going to be a big one, because obviously losing 10% for 130 seconds may seem like a lot, but then gaining the 40% extra is insane. So that's going to be one we're going to test. Crushing attacks, this is going to be an easy one. The damage of Jinnu's skills with break effects will increase by 35%, sorry. This, of course, is legendary versions. Irresistible force, when Jinnu uses a skill with the break effect, his attack increases by 7% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. This one is, of course, if you are using it, you want to put these two together most likely. First strike barrage, upon landing a hit 40 times, Jinnu's attack increases by 2%, stacking up to 10 times. You probably want this to be something that is very quick at attacking. I think this one might not be quite as good, but we're going to do a little bit of a test. And then, of course, we have ourselves lightning speed, which when your attack stat is increased by 6%, or sorry, by 6 for every 1 agility you have. So this essentially is the agility version of Intuit, which is the intelligent version. Combining these two, you might actually end up getting a pretty cool meta, which is more crit damage, and then of course more intellect if you put both of these on. Now, I don't know if it's worth sacrificing another OP blessing stone for the two of those, but we're gonna find out. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's jump in and test a few of these. Now, folks, before I start off on the actual video, I want to remind everybody the brand new Content Creator Season 9 is going on right now. I've sent out every single supporter all of the codes you need, which is the 1 mana extract and also the 150 rune fragments. We have 1,000 essence stones coming very, very shortly down the pipeline, so everyone will be getting that. So if you're not supporting anybody, or you want to switch supporters, or if you just want to support me, period, click that support button. This is in every single comment pinned, as well as every single video description. Click that support, guys. Get yourself some free codes. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me as a content creator. Now, let's keep going with the video. All right, ladies and gents, we're back here again. So just to simplify the testing a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just actually reset all of my strength and perception, etc. I'm just going to put perception at 100%, so that way, or 99%. That way we're not dealing with any anomalies that are going to cause too many problems with these skills. And what we're going to do is we're going to test one of these blessings at a time. I'm going to give you guys some numbers. Okay, so essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind everybody, though, as well, that these blessings, for example, we're going to start with SANDBAG. We're testing with the proper numbers: 16% damage increase, 50% crit, 99% precision, 27k. So we can leave all this on. You can see there's nothing fire related. So what we want to see essentially is when we go into this battle is how much of a difference the attack actually makes. All right, so let's go in guild boss. We'll go in here. I'm going to go solo dolo here. I'm not going to bring anybody with me. I just want to make sure that this is a solo run, and we're going to see how this looks. Okay, so form team. You guys can see here, I'm going to remove all of this jazz. Hold on, let me go into my equipment, make sure the equipment's the same. Take that off. There it is. All right, you guys can see all these skills. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to use them. Okay, we're going to do that one first. SANDBAG, there it is. And then, I mean, all of these are fine. Again, also, guys, just so you are aware, I went ahead and put the rest of the points into strength, just so we have a little bit higher numbers to compare with. So if you look at the full numbers now for Jinnu, his attack is actually going to be a little bit higher than it was before, just because we have the strength numbers now. We're looking at a little bit more in terms of overall strength, and attack is going to be 26,815. I know it's not too high, but this is what we have to compare with. Okay, so 26,815 is what we're looking at. Now we're going to jump into the battle. All right, ladies and gents, so this buff is pretty crazy. There's 2 factors here that you have to consider. Number 1, you have to wait 2 minutes and 10 seconds for this buff to activate. Number 2, it does an immense amount of damage. Now, I use the staff here specifically with the move. With the debuff on SANDBAG, I was doing 382,462. The moment the buff kicked in, after 50 seconds remaining, with a little bit of Infamy's help, of course, because I didn't have to do 1 extra skill, technically it would have been 42.5%. I was doing 548,000. So I'm going to show you this real quick, guys, in this battle real fast. Okay, so I'm going to retry this. I'll show you the original damage so you guys can see it is very consistent, right? And then I'm going to show you guys 50 seconds left. I'll fast forward the video, obviously, to that part so you guys can see it. But here, we're going to do this skill. Now, look at the white damage. That's all you're looking at, right? You can see there, 382,462. It's very, very consistent. This is why I use the staff, because the numbers are very easy to look at. Now, I'm going to wait till the 50-second mark. I'm going to come back and re-record this, and you guys can see that, in fact, that number will be exactly what I showed you 382462. You guys see that? The next number will be 548745. And again, that's because also I have infamy right there, one stack of it. In the second stack, you see there's the 40% battle, but that'll be throughout. That's not an RNG factor. Okay, so give me a few seconds. I'm gonna move my screen a little bit out of the way for you guys so you guys can see everything. I'll put it up here, and you guys can see at 50-second mark, because this is a 3-minute fight, the debuff lasts for 2 minutes and 10 seconds. At 50 seconds, you're gonna see a brand new buff. It's gonna have an attack buff with the 2 swords. That's identifying the sandbag now gives you 40% more damage. So let me jump in there and I'll show you guys real quick. All right, folks, we have 58 seconds left before this fight is over. Now, in 8 seconds, you're going to see a brand new buff pop up in the bottom of my screen. That's going to be the 2 swords that'll prove that my attack is up. So wait in 5 seconds, you'll see it. I'll put a little arrow to show you guys how it works, and you'll see the damage actually skyrocket. Right? Give me a second. There it is, right there. Okay, now watch. I'm going to do this one time. Watch the white damage again. There it is, 548745. Again, with precision, 548745, and is going to be super useful in longer battles such as POD and especially Ant Queen, because Ant Queen, for example, gives you guys even a higher multiplier when you do any form of vulnerability on her, and then you get yourself that extra bonus, right? So insane. Now, the reason why you see this number going down is because Fakna has a massive defense increase whenever he goes enraged, so that's why the numbers are going down. But nonetheless, this is a very important one to notice. No diminishing returns. This is like an oh shit button with a minute left or 50 seconds left to get the job done. So this one is very impressive, guys. Shorter fights, useless. Long fights, 4 minutes and above, 3 minutes and above, as a matter of fact, it could be the it factor to getting some stuff done. So this one does actually work as intended. So we're going to check this one off, move on to the next one. All right, ladies and gents, now that we've tested Sandbag and we know it's actually extremely powerful, we're going to move on to the next one. And this one here, we're going to actually take a look at Crushing Attack. Okay, this is the damage of Jinnu's skills with break effects are going to increase by 35%. So now I'm not going to actually equip this real quick. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to equip a break skill, and we're going to actually just see how the break skill damages look without it. And then we're going to equip the break skill to see what it looks with it. And I think the best one to look at here is probably going to be Decimation, because that one there is a one single attack. And so we're going to just jump into this battle. We're going to cast Decimation and see what it looks like number wise, and then we're going to record it a couple times, and then we're going to show you guys what it looks like then afterwards, okay, with it equipped. So boom, 719729. What? That's a big ass number, bro. All right, so let's go here. Okay, we got it right there. Okay, that's with a crit. Now I want to do this one more time. I'm going to retry it again, and we're going to do it one more time. Hopefully we crit again. If it's not crit, we'll take a non-crit number as well, and that's okay. We're going to need both anyways, right? So let's see what this looks like. Boom, 224, 2351, 221. Okay, so that's the number without crit. And again, it is with Decimation. So both the times we're gonna put Decimation right here. Jump in, put this on, and this one is called Crushing Attack. So again, the damage of Jinnu's skills with break effect should increase by 35%. It doesn't matter if the opponent has a break bar, just the skill itself should do that much more damage, right? So let's go ahead and jump in. Again, full charge. Okay, that's the number there. Nope, 293-6744, 293. So again, it's a little bit of variation. So we'll do a couple of these here without crit. 293, 674, 6744. So yeah, definitely, you can definitely see the percentage go up, obviously, right? No, 294-776. Well, at least we can see the numbers, right? 294. So 294.6. There we go. Okay, so that's all good there. You guys can see without crit, without the buff. So we'll put without the buff there. And then this is with buff, with blessing. With blessing. All right, so you guys can see the numbers are obviously looking better here across the board. So if we do a quick little percentage, we'll see what we're at. All right, guys, so if we do our percentages here, we take the lowest number that we had in terms of the damage and then put the highest number that we had. There seems to be a little bit of a diminishing return here. It's 27.183%. And that's taken, of course, the highest number that we just had, which is right here. So that was a difference of 27 point, what was it? What did we say? 27.18% damage difference within the break skill. So still significant, but not over the top. And it's not the full 35%. So there definitely is some form of diminishing return with this one, but it does show that it does work, and it is definitely giving you more power on your break skill. So this one will be really powerful with anything that you use double skills for break. So if you're doing like a boss where breaking is important and you can't get out of the break skills because you're lacking TP and stuff, this will actually help you guys do a little bit more damage plus perform your break skill. This is called Crushing Attack, of course. So not the full 35% as we've seen. It does fluctuate here and there. There is some RNG involved. So not quite like Sandbag. This one does bring you some diminishing returns with it. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. So what it is showing at least 27.18% versus the 35%, which is what it actually says. Okay, so we'll put a note here, 35% more damage with break. So definitely not happening. That is not the case. This one here is 10% attack down, 2.2 minutes and 10 seconds, then 40% attack up. Now you guys can clearly see there is a diminishing return as well too for Sandbag. It's at 35%, not 40, depending on how much attack you have. The more attack, obviously, that diminishing return will probably show more and more, but it's actually 35% rather than 40, and this is 27.18% rather than 35, right? So the diminishing return does exist for both of these. All right, guys, now that we've done that, let's move on to the next one and see how this one functions. All right, boys, let's move on to the Irresistible Force. That's right, my new nickname, by the way. We're going to test this one out. So this is when Jinnu uses a skill with break effects, his attack increases by 7% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Now, this one is interesting. Very, very interesting. And the reason why I say it's interesting is because you only have opportunity to do 2 break skills, right? 2 break skills, but you have some that you can do 3 with. So for example, Death Dance is going to be a really good prime candidate for this one. So we're going to test this out with it and without it to see the difference in damage. Okay, so I'm going to unequip this first. We're going to go ahead and try Death Dance 3 times on its own just to see what the break damage looks like, or the damage looks like in general. And then we're going to see what the numbers look like, right? 1, 2, 3. Look at the, I mean, honestly, 1, 3, 6, like it's pretty consistent again because of it. I'll record one of the crits and then we'll record a non-crit if we can get it in there. Okay, so let's do that again, just real quick here. All right. So 54284. So 54284. So let's do this again. 54. No buff, no bussing. Number is 54284. And then we said that was no crit, right? 54284. Yeah, 54284, no crit, no crit. And then we'll see if we can get another one in here. So we'll do it again. Again, right here. 132846. 132846 with crit. Okay, with crit. Again, very, very easy to calculate because again, we have the ability here to have precision at 99%. This will obviously show every single time. So just again, just to make sure. 54272, 542, I mean, it's so close, 54284, and then some of the crits were like 129 or some shit like that, 130568, 130, like, again, fairly close, right? You guys can see there, it is definitely showing right over here, like it's very close. Now, this one here, but anything else that doesn't allow you to do break skills multiple times, you won't get the full effect of this, right? But because Death Dance allows it, we'll see if it works. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so 138195, you guys see the numbers are very similar. There's 1, we got the buff, 148813, so 14, so with the buff, so now we go with blessing. So once the first effect kicks in, 148813, 148813 with crit. Okay, and then if we do another one here, which is going to activate it again, 159549. There you guys go. So it definitely does work, right? You guys can see it does work. So first buff, or is it second buff? Second buff, and then third buff right here. It's not as impressive, obviously, because it requires such a weird stipulation here that it doesn't, and you can see it's already disappearing, the buff, right? So that's a problem in itself, the fact that the buff disappears. But you guys can see, because the break skill hits multiple times, I need it. So you do have to cast it 3 times. So there's the limitation, guys, to that one, okay? All right, folks, moving on with the list. Now, the next one we're going to try, we have 2 more left, all right, folks, was First Strike Barrage. Now, this one here, upon landing 40 times with any attacks, you increase the attack by 2%, stacking up to 2 times. Now, this one will be interesting because you can use this pretty much on any circumstance, especially when you're doing quick attacks. So we should see that buff, that attack buff, increase up to 10 times stacks, and that should, in fact, work. Now, the question is it going to be worthwhile? That's 20% more damage, obviously, or 20% more attack. Let's see how much of a difference it makes. So let's go ahead and cast a couple of basic attacks here. Okay, we're gonna see here 40 times, and then we'll see what happens. All right, let's stack this. So let's I'm using the staff here. It's gonna be a little bit slower in attack. A couple of things I want to see. First off, number 1, it's 40 attacks, right? So you guys can see here, we should almost be there at this point, for goodness sakes, right? Right? Am I wrong? Have we not done 40 attacks yet? It feels like I've done 40 attacks. So let's just see. I'm gonna do this real quick, and then I'm gonna test something else out. I want to see if if it's just attacks, or can we do like skills and everything else that goes in between, right? There's no way I haven't done 40 attacks yet. This is crazy. Okay, so there's that one. I mean, like, come on now. Have we not hit 40 times yet? This is crazy. Okay, so basic attacks, I don't see the buff. I don't see the buff, y'all. And the numbers are looking fairly consistent the whole way across the board. All right, so let's just see if this is going to work now with skills. Who knows, right? Let's try skills out. So let's go with this. There's right there, vertical arts damage increase. That's what we just got. That's a different buff. We don't want that buff. We want a different buff. Right? We want to get, this is infamy now working. We're trying to get that attack buff, baby. There it is. Wait, no, that's 5 stacks of the other thing. There it is. That's different. That's the staff. Hold up. Infamy's on right now, so I know I'm doing more damage because of infamy. Where the hell is the attack? There it is. Wait, is that it? No, that was vertical arts. Okay, that's vertical arts. What is happening right now, guys? Am I just not seeing this one? Huh. I'm pretty sure I've done multiple attacks. I still don't see it, guys. Yeah, I don't see the buff. Huh. This one, I don't know what's going on. Vertical arts, there's a vertical arts damage. Don't mistake that vertical arts damage for the skill that we're actually looking for. It's not the same thing. All right, give me a sec. Hey guys, I just wanted to call. I had a few people who said it worked for them. Then I showed them it wasn't working. So this actually does not work. This blessing is completely broken. I've tried 100 times now with numerous weapons, numerous skills, different ways of hitting. This one is absolutely broken. So unfortunately, we have a bug, folks. Looks like the multi-barrage one is not actually a buff that works. So this one we're going to have to report as a broken blessing. They need to go back to the drawing board on it. Unfortunately, I'm going to walk you guys through this one again, just to make sure you guys what it says and how it's supposed to work, and it doesn't actually activate in any way, shape, or form. So this just simply says first strike barrage, upon landing a hit 40 times, Jinu's attack increases by 2%. We don't see any buffs, the numbers don't go up, the damage doesn't go up, the stacks aren't there, nothing is showing. We've done everything, whether it's basic attacks, skill attacks, ultimates, it doesn't matter what we did. This is not working whatsoever. So this one here needs to be relooked at again. So hopefully Netmarble, you guys see this. All right, guys, let's move on to the next one. All right, guys, we're at the finish line. Finally, the last one, lightning speed. Now, this one here is going to require me to change my stats a little bit. I'm going to need to put at least, 300 points, 275 points, some shit like that. Anyways, nonetheless, I'm going to need to put more points into agility to see the boost. Now, what we're going to do first is we're going to reduce all of our stats. Actually, you know what? I could probably keep it the same right now. Just do a couple simple attacks without it, right? So we'll take this off as well. We'll do a couple attacks without it and see how it looks. I'm going to take off. I was doing testing for that multi-strike one. Does not work at all, guys. So we'll do a couple attacks simply with the staff again, and then we'll see what the numbers look like, and then we'll record it, and then we'll go back and we'll equip that other one and see if the attack goes higher. Obviously, that's the whole goal, is to see that the attack goes higher. So again, no blessings here, right? We're going to go lightning speed very shortly here. First attack, 103,692. That's really all we're looking for, guys, is 103,692. So 103,692. Let me record that in my spreadsheet. So we go lightning speed, without buff. And then we'll say no crit. And then again, you'll see the numbers right here in the bottom, 103,692. 103,692. Okay, 103,692. Again, this number is really going to be consistent. I'm not too worried about it. I'll do it again if you guys want, just to kind of give you guys the sense of, precision working at 100%, 99%. It's going to give you a small variable difference. That was a crit, obviously. Here, let's do it again. I should honestly have recorded that crit, to be honest with you guys, but it is what it is. It's okay. So here, let's go right here. for crits again, we'll correct 1043. You guys can see again, it's not much of a difference, right? 104032. Okay, so again, we'll keep these two here for now. Now let's go with the buff. All right, now we're gonna have to unfortunately change the amount of agility. So I'm gonna put some in agility now. We'll keep precision the same, and then we're gonna put everything else in strength. We should see that attack difference show up, obviously, and I'll show you guys the stats. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 120 back into precision as usual. We're going to put 200, that's right, into agility now. All right, we're going to put 200, which is the maximum you need for this. We're going to go 190, which will put it at 200, and then the rest is going to go into strength. So we're going to put all of this into it. So we should see a difference because that extra attack bonus will come from that. So there's 200, 120, 404 this time. You guys see the attack did go down, but we have ourselves a little bit lower precision for some reason. We've been working with a little bit lower because of the 1 staff versus 2 staff. That's okay. Again, 93%, still fairly high. That's the reason why you're seeing a little bit of a difference. I thought it was 99%, but I forgot because we put the 1 staff in. We're going to keep that the same though. I'm not going to change it. Okay, so but we should see the numbers obviously for guild boss go up with this, with the attack working, and now with agility we should be doing a little bit more damage as well with it, right? So let me actually go back and equip it. Let me go quickly equip this, and we'll show you guys the proper numbers. Okay, so 1 sec here. And I'm sorry, guys, I should have had 2 weapons on just to keep that 99% precision or put more stats, but it's okay. Again, it's not too much of a difference. So here, we're going to put this on. Now you should see the difference in the attack. Okay, so we're going to go a couple basic attacks again, right? So this is actually going to increase crit damage and crit rate as well because of the agility bonus, but here's 107, 162. So again, 107. You guys can see right away there's a difference. Now this is with the buff, So we just got another 1,200 attack because of this one. So 107, 107, 162, right? And then we'll try it again here. We'll retry. Same thing, just a basic attack, and we'll see how well this is working. We'll give you the proper percentage of it as well too. 261053. So we'll do crit here with crit. We'll do with crit here, no crit here. Okay, no crit. Okay, there we go. So with crit here, we'll do 261053, 61053. I kind of wish I had the other one, but that's okay. We'll just record this one for now. We'll do a couple non-crits. Now, we should technically be seeing more crits anyways. It does increase critical rate and critical 107, 146, 10. So look at that, 10. Even with that little bit of precision difference, it's still pretty good. 146. Let's try again. I'll do a couple, and then we'll see what the difference actually is between the attacks, right? 107952. So you guys can see it definitely does make a difference, right? Now, equipping both of these, right? I'm curious now. Let's go back. Let's equip both of these with Intuit now on there, and I'll put some intelligence and see what the difference actually is now between the two of them, right? So we're going to go back to the stats, and I'm going to just test this together. So let's go reset again. We'll go 120 here, right? 120 plus 200 plus 200, and then the rest in strength. Let's just see how this goes. So I'm going to equip, now I'm going to go back to the guild boss, and we're going to try both of them together and see what the difference is. So let's go put on Intuit now. There it is right there. So now we have both of those giving us 1,200 attack, right? Which is great. Now let's see what the damage looks like. 110722. So it does make a difference with Intuit as well. So this now is interesting because now we're seeing higher numbers. 110722, right? Let's go again. Let's retry. Now we actually have a number to compare with crit as well. So we're going to see how this one goes. All right, let's go in here. 110553. 11053. So 110, what is it? 53. Okay, now I want to do one more test at 110053. Yeah, 0053. Now I want to do one more test, guys. You guys can see clearly it does show a difference. What is the difference now if I put all strength, versus not having any of those even on? So those blessings can sit there. They're not going to affect shit all. Right, you know what? As a matter of fact, we'll just take them off just to make it consistent. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go all strength here with 120. Okay, all strength with 120 and see what the difference is. All right, so let's just go here. Show you guys a little bit of how this works, right? So let's reset this again. We'll go 120 again, right? Just again, keep it consistent, and then the rest all in strength. Now let's see what the numbers look like if you don't have those on with this. Okay, so let's go back in here and do this. We're going to take away the blessings. Okay, we'll remove both of them. Let's see. Sorry, guys, wrong one. Remove, unequip, unequip. And then we're just going to go in with some basic attacks. All right, we'll see if all strength actually matters more or not. 104026. 104026. All strength. So you guys can see having these two for sure makes a difference. All strength plus precision. 120. All right, you guys can see there the numbers are in fact not lying. So it's very similar to this number here, right? Very similar to that number there. All right, let's retry again just so you guys can see it. Again, showing you the difference I think matters the most. 249927, 249927. Look at that. 2499, 249927. There you guys go. Is working. Intuit and agility together actually does make a bigger difference. So together, this is what you want to see. All right, guys. There's all the blessings tested. Please leave a like. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.